It's been a very busy summer, filled with everything but sailing on our own boat. Summer's over, and now we are deep into the planning and replanning of our next season. But before we get back onto Symphony, we've got to go spend a little time on a very different kind of boat. Now, before I get into this whole other boat thing, I want to talk about sailing plans. Sailing plans change. They say a sailor's plans are written in the sand at low tide, and they're right. They always change. They always change. So we've had our current sailing plans in place for about 6 months. We finish up in the Bahamas, sail up the East Coast, pull the boat out of the water, and then leave it on the hard during the hurricane season. Pull it back out, and then we're in prime position to sail across to Bermuda and down to Antigua. Those were our plans. These plans have been solid for months. We have a bunch of footage just talking about it, but all that footage is kind of wasted because the plans have changed. So I feel like we've gained a lot of experience in the last year. In the Bahamas, we sailed 3,500 miles. We did a 5-day overnight from West Palm to Norfolk. We sailed in a 40-knot storm and did fine. I've taken sailing classes. We've done a lot of work to make sure that we're safe and secure on the boat. But on paper, to the insurance companies, it doesn't look that way. To the insurance companies, we've owned the boat for a year, and prior to that, we had no boat ownership history at all, not even a kayak. So to them, they see us as a risk. We don't have enough experience to make the passage from Norfolk to Bermuda to Antigua. So we're changing plans. We are now going to take part in the Salty Dog Rally from Norfolk down to the Bahamas, back to where we started from. And from the Bahamas, we will go ahead and jump off due east, staying within 250 miles, and get to BVI, Antigua that way. Let this be a cautionary tale. There are a lot of people buying boats inspired by YouTube videos. I watched a bunch of them. That got us interested in this. And that's great. You can buy a boat, but you can't buy experience. And eventually, the insurance companies will limit you in what you can do until you can show that you have a proven track record of successful boat ownership and sailing. So it's unfortunate, but they're probably right. We got a lot of experience in the past year, and I think we could do this journey, but sailing for another year or 2 or 3 is always going to build more experience. I can't watch a YouTube video and know everything. So the more sailing experience we get, the more leeway I think we're going to have with insurance companies in the future, and the further we'll be able to go. In the meantime, we'll make plans within the parameters we have, and we'll have fun doing it, and we'll learn a bunch of stuff along the way. So now I'm packing for our next journey to a different kind of boat. We are going on a river cruise from Basel, Switzerland to Amsterdam, the Netherlands. And this is the riverboat that will be taking us all the way down the Rhine River. This is the Amamora. It's a 443-foot long riverboat. And Aaron and I are sailing on it for our 25th anniversary from Basel, Switzerland to Amsterdam. It's a pretty impressive boat. And it's amazing how well it can steer in a narrow river filled with lots of other boats the same size. We'll go through 12 different locks. We sail mostly at night, and it's an amazing piece of machinery. It's 10 times the length of our boat. So one of the nice things about this boat is you're allowed to go hang out in the helm and talk with the captain. So we're going to go do that and see if we can't learn more about how you steer and navigate a boat this size.
Now this is the 443-foot long boat backing down the Rhine River under a bridge, then turning around to head the right direction. This is our captain, and he was very helpful in explaining how he operates the ship. As it turns out, our boat has a lot of the same things this ship has. There's lots of diagnostic data, a radar screen, well, 2 of them, and maps with AIS. There's engine info. It was all very similar and familiar, just on a much larger scale. But there was one pretty important thing missing that took a while to notice. There's no wheel. Check out his right hand. That's how they steer, and it's all manual on these rivers. There was one other thing I noticed. He had rubber duckies instead of what about bob figures. So that's how they controlled the boat, but what about all the systems that run the boat? Were they that much different? Well, I got to go down and check out some of them. First stop was the generators. They have 4 of them aboard and they are massive. They use them anytime they're not tethered to shore. Please excuse the light flickering. Aaron and I drank a bunch of little beers. I think that's what made me forget to change the settings on the camera to deal with the Europe electricity being a different frequency than the US. Anyway, the ship has 3 massive diesel engines, 2 in the back and 1 in the front. Each engine was tied to a thrust unit that could turn 360 degrees, which gave this boat ultimate maneuverability on the crazy currents that you see on the river. We talked about the different water systems on the boat as well. Gray water on this boat does not go into the river. It goes through what sounded like a giant centrifuge, and then the particulates were put into a black water tank, and anything that was clean was then put into the river. We also talked a lot about power because they have to plug into lots of different power systems along the way. It was very complicated. This was nothing like our boat. It was impressive all the redundancies baked into this boat. I asked him, what happens if an engine fails? What happens if a generator fails? What happens if 2 generators fail? And the boat should be able to handle anything that's thrown at it. It was really fun getting to explore all these systems. They're kind of similar to what we have on our boat, just bigger and with lots more redundancies built in. Very, very cool. Our cruise was just incredible, and this boat took us to some pretty amazing spots. It was small enough to not feel cruisy, and I think we might have to do another one someday. If you want to see video of all the spots we visited, I tacked them on at the end of this video, so watch all the way to the end if you want.
So we are done with our trip down the Rhine on the Amamora. We're back here in Georgia, taking a rest because jet lag sucks and I'm still waking up at 2 a.m. Every night. Anyway, we're here hanging out for about a week, and then we're gonna head off to Annapolis to the boat show. Hopefully we're gonna meet up with a bunch of friends and catch up with a lot of people and start really forming up plans for this next season. I think we know what we're gonna do, but I'm sure it's always gonna change. At the boat show, we'll be taking classes. I'll be learning about a little bit more about weather prediction. I think we're doing some provisioning classes. I don't know. There are a bunch of different classes you can take, and they're supposed to be wonderful. So we're looking forward to a week of classroom time. After the boat show, we come back here for about a week and start getting all of our stuff put together and shipped off to Norfolk, where we will drop the boat in end of October
and sail down to the Bahamas on a 4 or 5 day passage. I'm really looking forward to it. It'll be great to get back in the boat, get back on the water, and get back to sailing. So until then, we'll be doing our thing. I'll probably make one video about the boat show if there's something interesting there, and then I'll get back to regularly making videos once we're on the boat. I'm sure there will be all kinds of crazy stuff that we have to do with it. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks.
How are you enjoying your tour?
It's good.
Yeah?
It's good to
Too many people?
not be in a crowd of
Too
people.
many people?
That's right. He keeps trying to make it not so many people. He's
Yeah.
a good tour guide.
Damn tourists.
What'd you say?
Said damn tourists.
Yes.
Happy anniversary. Hey! That's inappropriate.